I will say there is nothing quite like watching a movie with a packed theater. Tiger, ZINDA HAI. This review will be hard to do because I have no notes. I couldn't live tweet. Packed theater, and I am incredibly tired. It is almost midnight, and I have been up way too early today. But I think my first trailer reaction, I was concerned because this said inspired by true events. But while this movie was always at risk in my mind of turning out to be less than sensitive, let's say, when dealing with real topics, the heart inside it never even made that an issue while watching the film. This movie started and I thought it was like Munich from Steven Spielberg. Great film, you should check it out. And then it really spent the time on the romance. I know this is a sequel, but I didn't see it. Didn't need to see it because the romance felt real. They spent time on it. They didn't just go and like, oh, remember, they like each other. Plot. They spent the time and then plot. They had that. This is a benefit of being in the theater. The first scene is with Tiger and his son, and he has a scarf or whatnot over his face because they're in the mountains. And when there's a wolf and he turns around, he pulls it off. It goes in slow motion. I just heard, woo! Just screams from the audience. Even though he had been there, but seeing his full face uncovered was a moment, and I loved experiencing that. That whole scene with the wolves, it's a 2-hour, 45-minute film. There was an intermission. I had to travel home. Get ready for this review. If that opening scene with him was not iconic and didn't stick in your brain, I would have forgotten it by now. Then it gets into the aforementioned love story, and I went online to get a summary to use as bullet points since I couldn't live tweet and keep it as notes, and literally the best summary that I can find online is East Indian agent Tiger joins forces with Pakistani agent Zoya to battle a ruthless militant. That's on Wikipedia. That doesn't scratch the surface of this film, which I love. It's so dense. Also, it's 40% Rotten Tomatoes. What? I don't get it. I was sitting in this film just thinking, I'm responding to this. I am the epitome of an American audience member, above the line of liking Transformers. And I would love the flavor of music from this film in like a big budget blockbuster in America. It would hit. It would work. And I just lament that they don't do that. I'm spiraling. I'm so tired. Yesterday was Christmas, and today might as well have been Christmas too. Yesterday was me and my daughter, and today was me and my daughter and my girlfriend doing presents and stuff. And I'm so tired. And that boy is so smart. I don't know how. This is just the movies, but no way in real life does that boy max out his dad's credit card and get all those places. Otherwise, that credit card, oh my gosh, it just has a bigger credit limit than that boy could ever wish for. But it was beautiful, and this movie is like just stylized romance, stylized action, and just heart and dirt all together. And by dirt, I mean the sections that feel like Munich, feel like some hope is lost story. One that's not gonna be solved by a guy getting a fucking Gatling gun and a couple bystanders going, we're all gonna die. No. Tiger ZINDA HAI. You don't expect Stallone to bust out of a wall in the movie Munich, because you just don't expect it here. And I love it. And it never felt out of place. It never felt like, why did Michael Bay take over for Steven Spielberg? It didn't feel that way at all. It just mixed so well together. And the beauty of it is that since the whole movie is being driven by this message of peace between India and Pakistan and always doing the right things. When there's a 20-minute chunk that is just a periphery story to this whole central plot, which is getting Hassan to stop and getting the bomb off and then fighting all the people that chase them, it fits. It doesn't feel like it's getting distracting. I could totally see that feeling like, why are we wasting our time over here? The plots with the nurses. Get the fucking, who gives a shit about this kid? This kid can be cut for time. I mean, we'll show that Tiger's a good guy somewhere else. Totally could have felt like that. Did not. I love that he paid attention to what was going on. I half expected for that kid just to explode and the stakes to feel even more real, but they chose a much more meaty, much more delicious alternative to that. And if they had gone the explosion, tensions rise, the stakes rise route, would have worked. But this worked even better. They were just smarter. And the moment that his handler gets shot and he's not running away and it looks like they're gonna die, since I knew that Zoya was coming eventually in the film from the trailers, I was like, this is Zoya's moment. She's coming. And then she did. And it was perfect. And her reason for being there was so much better than just, I need to protect my man, I need to back him up. Could have just been that, seen it a million times. I wouldn't have batted an eye. I would have been like, okay, she's here, cool, let's do some cool shit with her. She had a good reason, which was for her nurses, and it made perfect sense. Like, why wouldn't she be there? And even the first time we meet the bad guy, the guy who's supposed to be like the leader of ISIS. I know this isn't ISIS, it's IBC or IBC or something. But when he says that when 9/11 happened and he was kept in Guantanamo Bay because of his name for 3 years, and that turned him bad, you know, from my perspective or the audience perspective, bad. But not from his. I just got it. I was like, fuck, that would break me. If I had enough fight in me to continue on, I would be fighting back too. And that has a powerful way of us understanding him, but not being sympathetic to him, considering what he's doing. He's smart, he's cautious, he is ruthless when he needs to, but he is doing bad things. He is doing the worst. And he deserves what he gets. For me, though, the most fascinating character actually was Paresh Rawal's Firdaus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He might be Thubin. He has different names in the credits, and certain stuff that I had seen in trailers and videos was in a different language, so that he might have a different name in a different language depending on which version you saw. I'm just guessing, or maybe that was his cover name, but his was the most interesting. Like, he would try to get on the side of the terrorists, and then he turned out to be a good guy spy, but then he saves the terrorists because there's bigger things they need to do, but you don't know that, you just think he's a bad guy, and then he helps him, and it's like, ooh, and he ends up killing the main bad guy. It's just, his was the most fascinating to me because it was the most faceted. Most different ways you could attack that character or look at it. You change your perspective on him just a little bit, and the person you're looking at is completely different. I loved it. He was just a master spy. It's just a master spy for what he was doing. He was playing everyone. He was playing the U.S. military. He was playing the terrorists. Ooh, it was good. Anupriya Gonka doing Porna. I don't know if I pronounced that wrong, but her character as the nurse, like the main nurse you get to know, also very good. Man, there's so many different facets to this. The women who were essentially forced into being prostitutes for the bad guys and like cleaning help, they were good. The main person who talked to Zoya about that was killer. Zoya was good. Abu Usman, that's the main bad guy, played by Sajjad Delafruz. This was good. The different sides having such similarities, the Indians and the Pakistani people, soldiers wanting to bring their flags, and I just love the message. It's like Mersal for me. It is an entertaining film, and it takes you along, and it's long, but it doesn't feel it, but it has such a good message. One last thing I want to say before I wrap up. But there's a moment at the end where Tiger is supposed to be killed by gas, and they're coming in to make sure and shoot him. And he has his shirt over his face. and his chest is completely bare, and he's just shooting people. And there were so many people in the audience cheering. Girls, guys, 3-month-old babies. I'm kidding about that last one, but the guy next to me is like, woo, woo, woo. I was like, you're not cheering for him, you're cheering for him with his shirt off. And I just loved it. I just loved that everyone was enjoying it so much. There was a joke that I didn't get. The code word was like from a song. I asked the guy next to me when he laughed. I was like, what does that mean? Because it was in another language. It didn't have English subtitles. So I was like, what does that mean? It's like, oh, it's just from a song. I was like, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's like in Komal again, I think, where they have the music from Ho Naho. I may be mistaken, but I recognize the music from another movie. I was like, those Easter eggs, that's just cool. But yeah, this was very, very good. I would recommend it. It's long, but it doesn't feel like it because it does a really good job. And the action is cool. You're just like, There's a bunch of moments where like either Zoya or Tiger will be like shooting at the bad guys. You'll just see the hostages running, who some of them are heroes. Few of the women who were captured and forced to be like cleaning or being sex slaves, like they're running and they were heroes. And like it's just the scenes are so dynamic and I love it. And they really delivered on something good. And there's so many small moments like Shinoy telling his second in command, I think Karan, to make sure that Tiger hadn't been turned by Zoya because he didn't trust her because she used Pakistani intelligence. Just a little moment. Didn't turn it into anything big, some like turn where he like pulls a gun on Zoya or whatever. But it was just like, yeah, you would guess that someone like in that position would be suspicious just untowardly, especially since they just disregarded the lives of 15 Pakistani nurses. But yeah, it was very, very good. I liked it. Thank you, SuperViewers. Thank you for suggesting this movie. Thank you for checking out this review. I'm so sorry I didn't have notes. It was a packed movie theater. It was the day after Christmas. I thought I might have a chance. I never saw a packed movie at this theater, but it was the earliest time that I could get to today, and I'm tired, and I'm still sick. I have medicine, but it's not really helping. But this was a very, very entertaining movie. Thank you. If you like this review, please suggest the next movie down below. Something is coming out in the theater. Subscribe. Turn on that little bell notification. And don't stop. Ow, I hit my hand.
You're a hero, Brian. Don't interrupt me ever. Oh, yeah, I was making a video to somebody on Twitter, to Brian.
It's still recording.
Stop. Don't.